You were the first member of the House to endorse Donald Trump.
Yes.
You have not endorsed Donald Trump, at least not yet. You just heard what the Speaker said. Are you ready to join the Speaker and say you're going to support Donald Trump?
Well, look, I intend to support Donald Trump, the Republican nominee. I want to hear how the speech goes tomorrow. I mean, there's a few Republicans that have some concerns when it comes to areas of foreign policy and stuff. And, Donald Trump has had a good week and I think a unifying week for the party, and he'll have an opportunity tomorrow to address some of those things. And Mike Pence will tonight. I think the pick of Mike Pence has been pretty positive for Donald all in all.
Are you hearing that? Because there's a whole bunch of Republicans, as you know, Congressman, who are still not even coming here to Cleveland, including the Republican governor of Ohio, John Kasich. He's not even here. It's interesting that the Democratic mayor of Cleveland showed up to welcome the delegates, but the Republican governor of Ohio, he's boycotted this convention.
Well, I can't speak for the governor, but what I will tell you, Wolf, is the party is uniting solidly behind Donald Trump. I think as we leave this convention, we'll have over 90% of Republicans there. Hillary's the great uniter of our party. Never Hillary, the Supreme Court. First, Second, 10th Amendment. There are so many critical issues. This country's at a point we could not survive 4 years, let alone 8 years of a Hillary Clinton presidency. She is uniting our party, and there's nothing wrong with disagreeing on certain issues with anyone and everyone, whether it's your wife or your kids or your best friend. But Hillary Clinton is uniting the party. You're hearing the speeches. They're going after her, as we should. And so I'm very comfortable. This is a great unifying convention.
Congressman Kinzinger, what's your reaction to word now from a speechwriter from the Trump Organization, Meredith McIver, that she inadvertently copied a few paragraphs, a few lines from Michelle Obama's 2008 speech, and it wound up in Melania Trump's speech?
Well, I'll take her word for it. I mean, I think that was such a glaring mistake that I would think it would have to be a legitimate mistake versus an intentional copy. And, I have a little concern with the continuing double down of we did nothing wrong, and then, okay, yeah, somebody did something wrong. But, look, I think, people ought to be given leverage for this. I think the campaign should have been very clear at the beginning that this was not intentional, but I think it's time to move on from this. And tonight's going to be a good night for our party, and we're going to stress the importance not just of talking about the presidency, but holding the House that Chris and I serve in, holding the Senate, and ensuring we have good Republicans down ballot in office.
What was your reaction to the whole Melania Trump speech issue?
Well, I think right now it says a lot about Donald Trump's character that he's keeping the speechwriter on, did not run her over with a bus. There's no one more loyal than Donald Trump, and I think we saw that again. I think America would like all of us to be magnanimous and forgiving, and he was. It was truly a mistake, an honest mistake by her, and I think it is time to move on, but I think it says a lot positive about Donald Trump's character.
You're an Iraq War veteran. You say you want to hear more from Donald Trump about national security issues. What specifically would you like him to say in his speech tomorrow night that would reassure you that he's your man for the presidency?
Well, I've got a lot of details, but I don't expect that to come. I think things like, American strength is important, American engagement in the world, not militarily everywhere, but understanding that, we have a purpose in being engaged. I think pushing back against the Russians. I've been concerned with some of the rhetoric about Russia, which I think has been very devastating to Europe and Europe's security. And also, I think maybe talking a little more about ISIS and frankly, the need to destroy them, but then long-term, how you're going to win that fight. This is a generational fight, as much as I hate to say it. It's more than just dropping bombs. It's winning a war of ideas.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.
We'll see you today. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you at this convention.
Very good.
Adam Kinzinger, Chris Collins.
Thanks.
Appreciate it very much.